Hello everyone, my name is Ivo and welcome to Cooking with the Koyas. We've got a special recipe for you today, folks. As you know, recipes get handed down from generation to generation. This recipe was shared with me from my good friend Dirk, was handed down to him from his mother. Handed to him, handed to me, and now we're happy to share it with you. Today, folks, we're gonna make rouladen. And we're all set up here, just as Dirk's mother would have set up. Let's get started right now. So as you can see here, folks, we've all set up. We've got our station set up, and this is exactly how Dirk does it, how his mother did it. So we're gonna follow tradition. So salt, these are a special rouladen cut. In case you're wondering, you can ask your butcher for it, or sometimes you'll find the rouladen cut pre-packaged, but it's a different cut of meat. It comes from the eye of the round, and typically the butcher cuts it with the grain. So it's a bit of a different cut. So we've got salt, and we're gonna add just a little bit of pepper. Okay, on each one. And you would do this to taste, and you don't need a lot because the meat is very, very thin. So then we've got Dijon mustard. So about a tablespoon on each rouladen cut, maybe 3/4 of a tablespoon to a tablespoon. That one looks like a little bit less. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and now you want to cover the rouladen cut with this beautiful Dijon mustard right there, folks. Get it completely covered, just like that. Okay. I'm just using the back of the spoon. It works perfectly fine. All right, now that we've got our mustard on each, we're going to continue building our rouladen. And you can see here I've chopped up onion. We have quite a bit of onion here. And what you do is slice it and then dice it. Slice it nice and thin and then dice it. And you're going to want, folks, you're going to want this rouladen completely covered with onion. So I'm going to spread this onion out, kind of like we did with the Dijon mustard. You want to make sure that you have a good amount of onion on your rouladen. Looks like I've cut more than I need, and that's fine. You're always better to have a little more. There we go. Spread that on nicely, folks. Again, with the back of a spoon. Okay. Beautiful onion. You could use a sweet onion or cooking onion. It doesn't matter. Sweet onion would be a really nice touch, though. Okay. This one maybe needs a little bit more. Okay, I'm happy with that now. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to continue building this rouladen. There we go, folks. It's layer after layer after layer. So now I have some beautiful bacon here. Okay, and we're going to take a nice slice of bacon and put another one right beside it. So 2 slices of bacon on each rouladen cut. Okay. And I'm putting a thick one first, and then a thinner one second, just to kind of layer them nicely. And don't worry if the bacon is bigger than the rouladen, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so 2 beautiful pieces. Look at this bacon, folks. It's a nice dry bacon. If you can find the dry bacon, by all means, go for it. Okay, next, as you can see, we have some pickles here staged and cut. 1 pickle cut into 4 pieces, and basically you want to put a pickle on each of the bacon pieces. So 2 nice pieces of pickle. This, folks, the pickle makes an amazing enhancement of flavor on these rouladen, let alone with that touch of bacon. We are building a masterpiece here, folks. Okay. All right, now comes the rolling part. We need to roll this up, so just grab the one end of the rouladen, okay, and just slowly roll it. Roll it up. Look at that beautiful bundle right there. Okay, 1 beautiful bundle. And I have 6 toothpicks staged. And you can just, with a toothpick, there we go, Just seal it with the toothpick very, very nicely on an angle, folks. Put it in on an angle, don't put it in straight. Okay, we're gonna roll the next one. Okay, same thing, beautiful rouladen. And then I'm gonna put it in on an angle. I'll just stick it in just like that, okay? We don't have to get fancy. All right, let's continue to roll these up. Beautiful little bundles of joy on an angle like that. And the reason I went with 6 toothpicks, I do 1 each. That way when we cook them, we know we have to take 1 toothpick out. No mistakes with the toothpicks. Okay, and I had 2 more to roll here, folks. Let's get these rolled. Okay, there's 1. On an angle, and then our last one. Aren't they nice? Look at this, folks. We're off to a fantastic start. If Dirk were here, I think he'd be proud of me, folks. All right. And there's our last one. Beautiful. Now, let's make our way over to the stove. So here we are. I've got my Dutch oven preheating with nothing in it right now. Let's take a look. It should be nice and hot. It's 365 degrees. It's good and hot, folks. Okay, and here I have bacon grease. Now, if you don't have bacon grease, by all means, you could use butter or you could use a cooking oil. Okay, that's not a problem. But again, we're sticking with tradition and we're sticking with the recipe that's been handed down. So, bacon grease it is. So you want enough bacon grease, about 2 good tablespoons of bacon grease, okay? So I'm gonna put the heat up a little higher now. We're gonna get that melted. Because what we're gonna wanna do, folks, is we're gonna wanna brown this rouladen and sear in some of those juices. So let's get this melted. Okay, as you can see there, we have enough to cover nicely the bottom of our Dutch oven. Okay, so now we're gonna take our beautiful rouladen and we want to get them browned. Almost lost that one, folks. Almost. And let's get this last one in there. Beautiful. Look at that. That's a nice fit. Okay, so it's stove's on high because you want to sear the outside of these rouladen bundles. Get them nice and dark and seared up. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes now, folks, and I haven't touched them, as you can see. Just let them sear, let them get good and dark. We're only going to turn these over once, and I'll probably let it go at least another minute. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, you see that right there, folks? That's what you want right there. A nice sear. Oh yeah, look at that. That is beautiful. That's exactly what you're looking for, okay? So roughly 3 minutes, depending on your stove and the heat and everything else. But 3 minutes should do it. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we're going to give it about another 3 minutes on this side. And in addition, I have 1 onion here, okay, that I've just quartered. And we're going to add the onion in the pot. And the reason for this is when we make our gravy, we want that onion to be part of our gravy because yes, folks, we're going to make a beautiful gravy to go with this rouladen. So we're going to let that go in there and we're going to let those sear for, like I say, about a total of 3 minutes, again, without rolling them over. And in the meanwhile, folks, I've got the oven preheating at 350 degrees because that's where this is going next. Okay, so before we put that in the oven, because I've got this leftover bacon and onion, you know what, folks? We might as well use it, right? And I'm just gonna place that bacon. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this because we have the extra and it's beautiful bacon. All right, and the onion, I mentioned we put the onion in there for our gravy. Well, we might as well use the rest of our chopped onion too, right? No sense letting, we don't want anything to go to waste, right? Okay, there we have it. So, our meat is seared, stove can go off, lid goes on. All right, let's get this in the oven. Okay, like I say, our oven has been preheating at 350 degrees, folks. That, of course, is Fahrenheit. 350 Fahrenheit. And we are now going to bake this rouladen for 1 hour. In the meanwhile, I'm going to get stuff ready for our gravy. And to do that, I'm basically going to boil potatoes because we're going to use potato water as part of our gravy. I'll show you. But right now, we got an hour to relax. Okay, so it's been about an hour. So that means, folks, our rouladen has got to come out of the oven. So I'm going to turn the oven off. Okay. And let's take our rouladen out. By the way, in case you're wondering, kitchen smells amazing. Okay, so I'm going to move these potatoes over. All right, let's get our rouladen there. Perfect, okay. Okay, so let's take a look at our rouladen, folks. Oh my, take a look at that right there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we are going to remove the rouladen and I'm going to put them in this casserole dish right here. Okay. Look at this, is going to make a real beautiful gravy, folks, right there. Oh my goodness, okay. Simple things in life, folks. Not a lot of effort. There we go. So what I'm going to do now with the rouladen, we're just going to keep it warm. So the oven is off, but I'm going to put it in the oven just to keep it warm. Alrighty, so look at that. This looks good already, doesn't it, folks? Okay, it's going to go into the oven. Again, this is just to keep it warm because what we want to do now is we want to make our gravy. Okay, and I have some potatoes that I've been boiling here for about 25 minutes. I cut up some potatoes and put them in there and brought them to a boil for about 25 minutes. We're going to use that potato water. We're going to make some beautiful gravy right now. Alrighty, so here we have our base for our beautiful gravy. Here are the potatoes that I cooked. Like I say, about 25 minutes, bring them to a boil and cook them. So the potatoes are cooked and I want that beautiful potato water, folks. So we're going to add some of that potato water. That's a lot right there. So because that's going to make our gravy right there. So that's a lot. That's enough gravy. We only have 6 rouladen after all. Okay, and here I have about 4 or 5 tablespoons of cold water. And we're going to add some cornstarch. So let's do 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Okay, we're just going to mix some cornstarch with some water. This is going to help thicken our gravy up, folks. Okay, but before I add that in there, I just want to scrape the edges. So again, I've got a nice wooden spoon here. I'm just going to scrape down the edges and get all that beautiful flavor from the bottom of this Dutch oven and get it into our gravy. That's what you want right there, folks. And remember the onion we put in? Remember we put in some onion, some loose ones, and here's the 4 pieces we put in. We're going to puree all this, folks. So, oh, look at that. That's going to come off too. That's all flavor. Okay, folks? That's all flavor. Get it all in there. Okay. That's pretty good. I mean, we could do a better job, get a little more in there, but I think we got most of it. Okay, so that's in. Let's add our cornstarch and water mixture. We're going to add a little at a time here, okay? So, and the stove is still, it's on low right now. So we're just going to add our cornstarch and water mixture. Okay, and just blend it in as you pour it in. Very easy, right? This is going to help thicken our gravy. So again, if you like a real thick gravy, then of course you're going to want to add more cornstarch and water. So it all depends on personal preference. Okay. And there we have it. Our cornstarch and water has been added. So now what we want to do, put the heat up, put it on high. We need to bring this to a boil, and that's going to help thicken it. And once it comes to a boil, we'll start to puree it. So let's bring this to a boil. Okay, folks, that's the boil we're looking for right there, okay? And you can see it's already starting to thicken up a bit, and look at the beautiful color already, okay? So I'm just gonna put it on low, put the heat on low, and just with an immersion blender, we're gonna blend up those onions and get everything incorporated. Now that's looking good right there. Beautiful. Okay, our onions are all pureed now. We've got our base going very nicely. So let's bring it back up. Bring our temperature up. We want it back to a boil again, because we want to now thicken this up. See how it's kind of liquidy? And again, personal preference, right? So I'm going to bring this to a boil. Let's put it on high. Okay, there's our boil, as you can see. Very nice boil we got going there, folks. So for this gravy, we're just going to boil this for about, a minute or two, okay? We're going to let it cook and thicken up for about, a minute or two. So check out that boil, folks, okay? It's been about 2 minutes. We got a beautiful boil going. And now, this is optional, but highly recommended. Again, sticking with the recipe, a little bit of soy sauce. We're going to add about a tablespoon. Let's see, we want to get some nice dark color. And this, folks, is going to add a little bit of saltiness to our gravy as well. Maybe add just a tad more. All right, that's good. Okay, so I did salt the potato water a little bit. So there's already a little bit of salt in the potato water. Now we've added the soya to darken it up a little bit, and it's going to add some more salt to our gravy. So I'm going to let this cook for about a minute, and then our gravy will be done. Okay, so it's been about a minute. We're just going to put our beautiful gravy down on low. Let's take our rouladen out of the oven. Okay. I lost my oven mitts, but that's okay. We got plan B right here, folks. So now there we have our rouladen, and yeah, it's been drying a bit, and that's okay because we've got that beautiful gravy, folks, to put on it. Okay. Okay, you know what, folks? This gravy. You remember that little bit of bacon grease that we put in there, and all and the bacon and the onions. Oh my goodness, folks. That is a complete winner right there. All right, so before we pour our gravy on the rouladen, again, sticking with how Dirk does it, remove the toothpick for your guests. And we want to make sure that we end up with 6 toothpicks so that there's no risk of somebody accidentally getting a toothpick with the rouladen. So there's 3 right there. Okay, here's another one. We're up to 4. This is the extra bacon we put on, folks, right? Well, here's one right there. I see it. Now we've got 5. One more, 6. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, folks, we got our 6 toothpicks, so we know we're safe. It's a good habit to get into, for sure. And now I can turn that off. And you know what, folks? We are going to pour all of this gravy, all of it, onto our rouladen. Just take a look at this. Oh my goodness, look at that, swimming in gravy, and the gravy is so good. Oh, and look at that. We're gonna get all that gravy out, folks. All that flavor. I wish you could smell what I'm smelling right now, because this is amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, so you know what's next, folks. Isn't that nice? smothered in gravy. The rouladen is cooked perfectly. You know what's next, folks? Taste test. And I am so looking forward to this. Let's get into that right now. Oh my folks, I'm getting myself set up here, but before we do the taste test, I want you to take a look at this beautiful tray of rouladen right here. I can tip it a bit. Absolutely perfect, smothered in gravy, beautiful. All right, so what I'm gonna do, again, sticking with tradition and what Dirk's mother would have done, we're gonna take, why not take this great big one right here? We're gonna take that rouladen and the potatoes that we cooked. As you can see there, we just cut the potatoes, right? Nothing fancy there, just boiled potatoes. There we go. Maybe one more, I do like my potatoes. Okay, and then in here, again, sticking with a traditional kind of German dish, we have red cabbage. So a little bit of red cabbage on the side. Look at this plate, folks. Now you're talking. Let's get a little more red cabbage. I do like my cabbage too. I like everything, folks. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay, and we can't forget our beautiful gravy. Oh yeah. Pour that gravy. Look at this. Right on top. You know what? We're going to put some on our potatoes too. Absolutely, yes. Oh my. Am I looking forward to this, folks? Am I ever looking forward to this? Taste test coming up. Look at there. Oh my. Again, I think Dirk would be very proud of me right here. I think his mother would be too. Let's dig into this. I can't wait. I am really looking forward to this, folks. I only wish you were here to experience this with me. Okay, so red cabbage, potatoes, and oh my goodness, folks, it's just falling apart. A little bit of gravy. Oh my goodness. I don't think you can get it this good in Germany. Seriously, folks. This is absolutely delicious. And the gravy, let's try a potato with the gravy. The gravy, what a touch. But this rouladen, oh my. Yeah, I have to say thanks to, I guess, Dirk's mother for this recipe because it is an absolute winner. You have to give this recipe a try. Seriously, folks. It is so good. And you know what? Not a lot of effort. Set your station up, get yourself organized, and start cooking. An hour in the oven, add your gravy, you've got a fantastic dinner. It is absolutely delicious. Folks, you know I always thank you for spending time with me in the kitchen. And what makes me even happier is when you take a recipe that I've aired and you make that recipe and you enjoy it. Whether it's for yourself, with your family, or friends, doesn't matter. It's all about having a great home-cooked meal right at home. Family recipes passed down from generation to generation. Honestly, folks, it doesn't get any better than that. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, buon appetito. What a meal I'm in for tonight, folks.